Hey everybody, how you doing? Thank you for watching. And yeah, it is sad news. 20 years, after 20 years, someone, I believe it, the National Football League has decided to deny Zennie62Media. And from their size, that means me, but it also means my company. Uh, the denial of a credential to cover the 2026 NFL draft after 20 years of YouTube tech by this black firm. And that's the way to prove it because that's the truth. And what I've done in order to keep my thoughts appropriately aligned is I wrote a post about it on zenniereport.com, which promises effective exposure. And so I'm going to read you that that post, which is also in here, but there are only 5,000 characters excuse me, are allowed in the YouTube area for text versus the actual 8,800 characters that the post is comprised of. So at any rate, here it is. And I feel like I have the opportunity to really just let loose and just tell my story and talk about what happened. Um, and and there it is. Richard says, "Dang, I missed the first few minutes. Did they give an explanation?" Hey, Richard, no, they didn't. You didn't miss much at all. Just started. Well, actually, they did give me an explanation. Let me read this, and I think what I'll do is I'll put it in the field. I'm just going to talk. Okay, I'll read from it, but I'll talk, and that way you don't have to go between looking at the text and me or trying to figure out as it moves and that sort of thing. Okay, so I want to put you through that. All right, but it goes like this. Okay, um, the the sad news that came from NFL media department uh, was it was worded like this. The sad news that came from the NFL media department from the uh, people that I've known in some cases for, I would say, 15 years in the case of the NFL spokesman. Um, and for the first time ever, never had this happen. First time regarding the NFL draft was written like this: "We have received your request for accreditation to the 2026 NFL draft in Pittsburgh. Unfortunately, we are unable to accommodate your request. Please note that media access for the 2026 NFL draft is limited and media accreditation decisions are based on several factors. Among the most important is the measurable audience reached by the applying organization. Significant emphasis is also placed upon the amount of coverage an organization provides an NFL club on a regular basis." And then it goes on to read, "There is a large media contingent that cover NFL teams each week throughout the season, in addition to devoting significant resources throughout the year at other events, including training camps and community appearances. Even for media that fall into this category, we were unable to accommodate all the requests we receive." Now, what I wrote after that is, yep, that's the email I get for 20 years of YouTube based innovative coverage of the NFL draft and NFL owners meetings and Super Bowl week of game. No thanks, no gold watch, which I'm expected to provide since I own most of Zennie62Media stock. This is what I wrote back. "Greetings. Thank you, but this is the third time I have received this kind of email this year, and without any data to back the justification. Zennie62Media is a recognized media organization credentialed to cover events ranging from the Oscars red carpet across multiple years to the NFL draft for 20 straight years and the city of Oakland and even the White House. Today, someone at the NFL has elected to craft a story about Zennie62Media that fails the logic test." And then I go on to write this: "You forgot the history established when Brian Lorlap, with Brian Rowlap, when he was the head of technical and digital for the NFL. Now he's the head of PGA Tour, regarding the Zennie62Media Incorporated YouTube channel and media approach. We established advances that the NFL first tried to steal, then copy. Remember the famous How a Draftee's Name Gets Called video I made in 2006? I have enough history to fill a book. Rather than see the value built, someone in the NFL believes it can be destroyed. That is not going to happen. I regret that the league thinks it must have an adversarial relationship with me and my company. It is quite hurtful and very confusing. But I will address it, and in a path-breaking way. Zennie62Media is unstoppable and will cover the NFL draft, the 2026 NFL draft, continuing its iron grip algorithmic rule over various NFL events as presented online. Zennie62Media is the longest-serving Black-owned, multi-platform Delaware C Corporation media company in NFL history. We represent the proper evolution of the free press, web-based and capable of both reporting the news via a video blog network and correcting the news through a reputation management revenue generating approach. Zennie62Media is the answer to a point of view San Francisco Chronicle executive editor Phil Bronstein presented to me in 2010 in an article that I call SF Cron's Phil Bronstein. I've always been a student of insurgency. And to which I basically said, oh, you mean me? I'm the insurgent. But read the article when you have a chance, you'll get it. In closing, here, Zennie62 does not use fake accounts, whereas many of your favorite YouTube channels do. And I'm saying this to the NFL. Let's take Haley Khalil as an example. You know, the same person once married to Matt Khalil, who became a offensive guard and tackle for the Minnesota Vikings. He was from USC. You all put her in the 2023 NFL Draft red carpet, expecting her to get you big gains. Instead, what she got was, to put it in John Facenda's voice, a demolition job by the Doomsday Defense, me. My videos pushed hers out of the way under the NFL Draft red carpet keyword designation on YouTube, and you all could do nothing about it. Why try to hurt me by thinking that your relationship with YouTube makes my contributions meaningless? The reality is you all give Haley a ride to Brazil. This is what they did, folks. Listen to this, okay? Listen to this. They gave Haley a ride to Brazil for an NFL game, pitting the Chargers and forgot the other team, but it doesn't matter. Where she posts a YouTube Shorts video such that even though she claims to have 8.1 million subscribers, okay? 8.1 million subscribers, all right? She hides her video view count. vidIQ, which is a software service that actually evaluates and measures your YouTube channel against different benchmarks to suggest how it can improve, reports this designation where the video count would be is NA, not available, all right? And there are only 24 comments on the main page for a video on a channel that has 8.1 million subscribers. You hearing me? 8.1 million subscribers, all right? All right? So anyone who knows YouTube is aware that YouTube Shorts is the shortcut, pun intended, to views, because it treats impressions as views. In other words, impressions are you go to a page, the video is there, right? You don't touch the video. You don't turn on the video. You don't touch it to make it play, but you see it. That is an impression. Well, in the way that YouTube Shorts is designed, that is actually counted as a view, all right? So at any rate, because they do that, in treating impressions as views, you get a higher view count. I do not do YouTube Shorts and discourage my vloggers, as you know, Richard Hake, from doing so because it's dishonest. The vlogger is deceived into thinking they have tons of views when those views are really just eyeballs passing for a second. This is the world the NFL has entered, the way of YouTube fakery. And all the while, me, Zennie Abraham, who actually interviewed NFL players via YouTube since 2006 at the NFL draft, among other places, gets treated in a way that can only be considered crappy. If someone is upset that I missed meetings because I'm a caregiver to my elderly 91-year-old mother, shame on you. There is no angle where the NFL comes out ahead here. You're treated a true friend wrongly, and the Lord does not like that. The Lord also does not like how the NFL media staff started to treat me back in 2023. Listen to this, folks. Then a representative from a Tampa-based PR firm that works for the NFL on contract for the NFL draft red carpet and the NFL honors red carpet, after denying me an NFL red draft credential, even though I made more YouTube videos, content, than any other media outlet on it. All right. Okay. Then after denying me, she told the NFL spokesperson that I made her uncomfortable because, get this, at the 2022 NFL draft in Las Vegas, I asked for a wheelchair and also complained the NFL draft staff in the vehicle yard next to the NFL draft town in Las Vegas addressed me in a way that was racist. And they did. All right. So in other words, I'm being denied an NFL draft red carpet credential in Kansas City in 2023 because I complained about disability discrimination and racism in Las Vegas in 2022. You hear that? But here's the kicker, all right? I have 2 videos of me thanking her and for getting me help in the form of picking me up at a spot, which she did, where she was also transporting a white reporter from, I believe, Miami, all right? And I'll show you the video right here. I'll have to actually change the sound so you can hear it a bit. Bear with me as I go to the audio, and then echo cancellation is already off. I probably should have turned it on, but at any rate, here is the video as I present it to you. Share screen, excuse me. Invite share screen, and there it is. That's not it. Let's see, I'm going to have to go over here and copy that. Yep. And then go here, paste that. And okay, here it is. Okay, so now here, let me try this again so you can see it. Go down, share screen, and voila, here it is, in the field, right here, add to stage, and there it is. Okay, now let me play it.
Hey everybody, I'm inside and I'm going to tour. I'm a little slow because I'm out of breath. Coming! Hey, she's the greatest, folks. So, anyway, this is it. Look at this. Oh, this is something else. We'll be back for more.
Yeah, I was giving her a shout out, saying she's the greatest because what she had done was got me a ride with her and another reporter. And so if you go back and look at the video that she has, or basically, I'm not going to spend too long, but you can see that she's walking with this taller white guy in a shirt. That's the other reporter. So she noted that, and yet had the nerve to say that I was causing a problem because I demanded a wheelchair. In other words, I'm so special that she can't provide service to anybody. Here she's providing service to someone. Okay. And that's why I was saying she rocks. Now why would I do that if I thought, she made me think I was causing a problem? Okay. Didn't happen at all. But then when I told the NFL about, hey, she's denying me a NFL draft red carpet credential, she decided to, tell the story. Okay. So, which is really, really dastardly wrong. All right. It just really is. Okay. And then on top of all that, in another example, at the NFL draft, we high-fived each other, and I make sure that this comes up there. We high-fived each other toward the end of the draft for, a job well done by them. And I like to, make sure that everybody is happy, and it's, it's festive when you're doing the draft, and everybody works in unison, and people are there trying to help you, or so it seems, and everything goes well, right? And that was certainly the case at the NFL draft in Las Vegas. Las Vegas was just outstanding. No question about it. It was just outstanding. So anyway, I made this video with her in it to thank her, and here it is. And she's walking down, as you can see, she's about to walk down the red carpet here. There she is. And I will start the video right here. So, yeah.
Are you ready? High five! I knew I got your hands full. You did a great job. I think you got it. You need a hype man. You know where to find him.
Yeah. See. Okay. I had a great time. I had no idea that there was any issue or anything. Nothing. Okay. No idea that there was any issue whatsoever, and yet we essentially get what I'm talking with you about now, and so I'll continue. The NFL draft red carpet in 2019. All right, at that NFL draft, the same person I just high-fived with. All right, you saw. Denied me an NFL draft red carpet credential then, all right? And I showed our awesome YouTube video count numbers. I say video count numbers, I mean numbers of videos made. I have always outdone any other media in the NFL with respect to YouTube video production, okay? Always. No one has beaten me, ever. And so, all right, ever, all right? I showed our numbers to the then communications head, Jocelyn Moore, and her number 2, Tracy Oli Blunt. Jocelyn said, Zennie, we know your numbers. And I remember we had this conversation at the Nissan event where we were packing lunches for kids as a commissioner's project, okay? When in fact, Roger Goodell was right over there packing lunch. I have that on video. And as he was packing lunch, she and we were having a little side conversation about my NFL draft red carpet credential that, okay, her name is Ms. Liz McCollum, had basically canned, all right? And with no reason other than, we were out of space, okay? So she said, and again, Jocelyn Moore said this, Zennie, we know your numbers. We will take care of this. And then she said this, if she gives you a problem, let us know. I was back in my place and kicking ass, making YouTube-based news content, interviews of NFL players and vlogs of the NFL draft experience from behind the scenes in Las Vegas. I even got to interview Wayne Newton and Donnie Osmond. I got Drake London showing us his bling teeth and everything else. In short, I built Zennie62Media from covering the NFL and have great memories that, like the many times I met with NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell, who I thought was my friend, during the NFL drafts from 2013 to 2016, and to inform him about what was going on with Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf in our effort, and primarily because prior to that, starting in 2013, but then it really ramped up when Libby got elected. At any rate, and to inform him about what was going on with the mayor in our effort to keep the Raiders in Oakland. See, Roger wanted Libby to allow the NFL to buy the Oakland Coliseum complex. Libby didn't do it because she didn't want to upset the Oakland A's, even though the A's eventually tried to leave the Coliseum anyway and did leave the Coliseum. Okay, did. All right. So I'm proud of that, but I'm even more proud of my NFL draft coverage, behind the scenes videos that no one else has, backstage at the NFL draft, and interviews with legends like Dallas Cowboys player personnel, vice president, the late Gil Brandt, and a number of other stars like Raiders running back Jerry McFadden and former Cal player Javid Best, who was drafted by the Lions, and Andrew Luck, of course, who was drafted by the Colts, RG3, who was drafted by the Washington Commanders, as we call them now, and in total, a list of NFL players that rivals any media outlet. Okay, so basically, what is this? This is racial discrimination by NFL friends who turned out to be anything but. And I hate to report that. I report that with a great deal of sadness, but I have tried to look at this in every other way than that way. And I'm sorry, folks, it's just hard for me to turn away from that point of view. I've tried every way, which way from sunrise, as they say, and it doesn't make it doesn't add up. In closing, this is racial discrimination. For some reason, the NFL media communications did this to me after my friend Jeff Pash retired as NFL legal head last year. Why? I really don't know. Maybe it's because Jeff stopped the NFL staff from doing everything from trying to steal my YouTube videos during the NFL draft, in the NFL, starting to steal my YouTube videos early on, back in 2006. How the draftee's name gets called. In fact, let me explain that. The NFL in those days, and they still do it today, but they have a process where a runner comes to get these tags, or maybe they've changed electronically now, but in the days at the Radio City Music Hall, they would come and get a tag from a person sitting at, say, the Niners desk or the Raiders desk, and that person would take that up to the front. Let's say Frank Sapovitz, they would give it to one person. That person would pass it to Frank Sapovitz, for example, when he was over it, or somebody else now, and they would read, the second pick of the 2022 NFL draft is blank, that sort of thing, by this team. Okay, and that's how they do it. Well, I have a video where they did it in 2006. Would you believe two NFL attorneys tried to say that video belonged to them, and they tried to have it taken down, saying that I got it from them, when in point of fact, it was my video that I made at Radio City Music Hall on the floor, mine. So what did the NFL do? Like a couple of years later, they made their own version of the same thing, rather than saying, hey, this is Zennie Abraham's version, rather than giving me any credit at all. Okay? Complete Bush League stuff. All right? But that's what they would do. Complete Bush League stuff. Okay? But that's what they would do. Complete Bush League stuff. All right? And then, after, if it wasn't that, excuse me, it was then we had, let me catch my breath here, another situation where the the staff would say, in the case of the Super Bowl, the 2008, remember the 2008 Super Bowl, where Eli Manning drove 80 yards, actually drove 82 yards through a 19-yard touchdown pass to Plaxico Burress to take the lead and eventually beat the Patriots, the undefeated Patriots, in an amazing Super Bowl game that I had the privilege and pleasure to sit at, not as media, but as a ticket buying patron who was known to the media and known to NFL staff. 3 decks up, 50-yard line. I got the whole drive to this day. The NFL legal people tried to take that from me. A woman by the name of Rachel. I'll never forget it. I had to go to Jeff Pash, and Jeff said, hey, leave Zennie alone. That's his video. Because I had a unique fair use right to keep it. Because it was educational. because it reported a unique point in history, and nobody else to this day has anything like it. Okay, nobody, and they tried to take it from me. Okay, Jeff Pash stopped them from doing it. All right, all right, all right. So then, all right, I remember going back to the red carpet issue. Jeff asked me if I actually wanted to go after he stepped in, but I said honestly I was concerned about what story she would make up about me if I went to the NFL draft red carpet in Kansas City. Given what the NFL spokesperson had told me, he told me that it was this person's woman, who said that I made her uncomfortable because I asked for a wheelchair and then I raised the issue of racial discrimination. Those were her two issues. That's it. Not, hey, you know what? We need to talk with Zennie about this, right? We need to find out what happened, right? We need to mitigate this. Oh no. Instead, she wants to use that as the basis for getting rid of me. You hear me? As the basis for getting rid of me. Okay? As the basis for getting rid of me. All right? I mean, what do these folks think? I'm a media person. I'm a blogger. I'm a vlogger. I talk about it when people do things to me. I've been nice for a long time. I'm sick of it. Okay? I'm tired of these violations people feel like they can do to you. Like, oh, you're not going to say anything because, of course, you want, access and everything. I want change. I want you all to act right. I want you all to do right. I want you all to be the kind of organization that people think the NFL is. All right? Period. And there's no, negotiation there. You've got to change and be right. Heck, look, all right? You just have to, okay? At all. You just do. All right? You just do, okay? All right, I've got the Super Bowl week of game credentials, every single year, but all of a sudden this year, they used exactly the same argument. But meanwhile, my friend Donald Lacey gets one. I was telling Donald about it. Donald says, hey man, why are they screwing with you? AP Stedham, same thing. Both of them don't cover an NFL team. Neither one of them have large websites that give big followings. And yet they got NFL Super Bowl week of game credentials, but not Zennie, Abraham, and Zennie62Media. Okay? All that happening this year. Okay? All that happening this year. And they think that they're just going to treat me that way and I'm going to be silent and just take it. And I'm not going to. Okay? I'm not going to. I am not going to. Because there's only one way to properly adjudicate this. And as far as I'm concerned, it's court. That's the only way that I know how to straighten this out. I've tried every other way. I tried contacting Roger through his assistant. I got nothing. All right. I remember I ran into Roger in Atlanta and it was really confusing to me. It was like in 2020, and I should have asked him about it. But normally he would be really friendly, but this time he actually frowned and I couldn't figure out why. Okay. I didn't know what the issue was. This is a spring NFL meeting. And there's nothing I can pinpoint. I've got video of everything. Now, things got better where I was credentialed for the Detroit Super Bowl recently. That was great. Missed Green Bay, helping mom here, right? And then the Green Bay NFL draft is what I'm talking about. But then did go to, actually prior to this, the fall NFL owners meeting here in Atlanta, which was fantastic. I have a video live stream, 7 hours long plus. All right, just interviewing different people as we go along. None of that video shows anything that someone doesn't want you to see, because if they don't want you to see, they would do what? Close the door, right? That doesn't do that. It goes through the hallway of the hotel, and there are other cameras running back there. Every time somebody walks in, boom, they're turning on camera thinking this person was famous. I remember we're all standing between these two columns it's at the Whitney Hotel, or was at the Whitney, right? And you can see this on the video. And this sister walks in about 5 foot, and I'm putting my camera up, and a couple of other people are putting their camera up. And this brother says, well, she ain't nobody. And I said, wait. How do you know she's not somebody? Okay. I said, don't ever think that just because it's us, that person isn't somebody. All right. So I couldn't believe I wound up giving that lecture, but I did in a very nice way. He appreciated it. It was a man probably half my age, but it needed to be said. And then because when you walk through that door, they have no idea who you are. And they're looking for somebody, like in this case, we're all looking for Tom Brady. We thought Tom Brady was going to show up, but it turned out that the NFL has a rule that NFL limited partners are not invited to league owner meetings. That's the basic rule. So Tom wasn't there. Just like, for example, Egon Durbin is a limited partner, so he wasn't at the NFL annual meeting either, at least as we know, right? But who's to say that they didn't meet with him on a Zoom call or something like that and talk with him or anything else? You never know. So it really stings. All right. It stings to be treated that way, for them to make it so obvious, for them also to allow folks like Haley Khalil, who have this huge, subscriber following. They say, hey, you don't have enough followers. In other words, I don't have any fake followers, so therefore I can't be credentialed. But hey, I have more YouTube videos than anybody else. So you're telling me that counts for nothing? That's nutso, okay? Someone here tell me why that makes sense. We want to look at the other way, it's fakery. So what is it that the NFL is saying now? Oh, by the way, we want to make advertisers think that, we're getting a lot more followers and viewers than we really are. Oh, so hey, when someone starts digging in that way and find out that you're maybe using some of the same fakery, but you don't know it because you're just happy that YouTube has put a lot of money into you. And then, then they're going to turn around and say, well, hey, we reevaluated what we were doing and we realized that our count was a little high, so we're lower. And so guess what? We're putting less money into you next year. All right. That's the danger the league sets up when it does stupid shit like that. I'm saying it just like that. That's stupid. All right. You can count videos. You can count the number of videos that I do. That's why the NFL never beats me when it comes to the NFL draft red carpet, or for example, the, other, any keyword area, including the NFL annual meeting. Who is the ruler in terms of number of, videos in that category on YouTube? Zennie62Media, all right? These placement objectives matter. They matter more than subscribers, because you want to be where someone can see their eyeballs and they know it's you. All right? That's the power. That's the impression. And that's what I preached a long time ago, going back to when in the early days of YouTube, when people started making fake followers and they started putting them on their YouTube channel. And I was thinking, I'm not going to do that. They were taking down channels left and right. Boom, boom, boom. I said, it's not going to be me. I have engineered Zennie62 YouTube to survive the test of time, going back to 2006 till now. And we have 27,000 videos, okay? All right? Do better, NFL. You can't. You've been trying to steal ideas from me. You don't celebrate me, but you'll celebrate Darman with his fake followers, and Trump hit him out there. And what did you get? You stepped in it because he had been found to be a felon, a convicted felon who tried to defraud the city of Oakland and the redevelopment agency back in 2013. All right. Absolutely ridiculous. Okay. And here's me from Oakland. All right. Legacy guy. All right. Always showed the NFL in a great light, and you have to treat me that way. That's BS Bush League. There's no other way to put it. And I don't understand why the NFL has decided to evolve in the way that it has. And somebody said, well, it's the era of Trump and all this. Let me tell you something. Zennie62Media is on the White House press list, okay? The White House press list has days and slots for new media. They have black-owned media on the list. And if you apply to be, in the press conference room, they will actually tell you and give you a day and they'll put you in the list in the press announcement. Hey, Griot is on this day, or BET or whatever, or, right, that sort of thing. Okay. And that's not that you're only the one, but you're there. The NFL, look, for all the criticisms the Trump administration gets, I'm telling you, their media people are awesome. I've sang their praises before, and I'll continue to do so because I believe in calling out when people do right as much as right now I'm calling out when people do wrong. NFL, stop doing wrong. And don't think this is a left-right issue. It's not for me. It's a right issue. The rightness of treating people right, the rightness of treating your friends right, the rightness of acknowledging when people that are supposed to be your friends, who you're partner with, do well in the process of trumpeting what you do. And that's what my company has done for 20 freaking years. And you can't deny it. And that's all I got, folks. That's right here. All right. I'll be back with more because there's more to say. There's a lot more to say. Subscribe to Zennie62. And by the way, I am covering the NFL draft. And hey, look, space normal speed for this company. I'm going to do something different. And no, not what you expect either. It's what you don't expect. I'll see you.